The whooping and hollering that is going on next door is maybe all the action at Trickstar goes on earlier, and I'd just never, coming in at 9:30 every morning, I'd never seen it. Normally, when I come in at 9:30, there's either some sort of ugly geezers in there talking about football, or there's no one in there apart from Jay. Jay's just on his own, shouting out into the void. But today, there's numerous women. There was shrieking, whooping, hollering, hijinks, some sort of, I guess, sexy horseplay going on in there. I don't know, maybe it's a pillow fight. I don't know, but it sounds like he's running some sort of like Brighton version of the Howard Stern show in there, from sort of Glory Days Stern, where he'd have, I don't know, some strippers in, sitting on some sort of giant vibrator. Maybe that's the direction Trickstar are taking it for 2019. And God bless them if they are, because Christ knows they need to take some sort of direction. They can't continue on in the path that they're going. I mean, that is only going to lead to ruin. The Side20 road to ruin. If I was in charge of Trickstar, what would I do? Well, I'd probably put a I don't know, like a sign outside, like those kind of, you have to be this high to ride this roller coaster sign, but one where it was, you have to have an IQ of such. I mean, it was sort of. I mean, there'd probably only be a couple of DJs left, but maybe I would just put some sort of lock on the door that was solved by a very, very simple maths problem that was really quite explicitly explained on the door. But the sort of mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging Neanderthals that play like the trance shows and the baseline house shows, they're just being trying to headbutt it, trying to bite it, trying to bite the lock off, eventually just shattering their little Trickstar teeth. Probably a little bit like when they run out of booze in Moe's Tavern, and Barney already sucked the taps dry, cut his gums out pretty bad. Baseline house DJs that'll be bleeding from the mouth and legs for no reason, trying to get in. Eventually, you just have to come around and just sort of, with a trolley, like a sort of bring out your dead situation where you just roll them onto the trolley and take them down to the end of the pier. Sling them off. Best thing for him, man. Anyway, I don't know what the fucking hijinks is all about. It was, I don't think, maybe they're discussing, maybe they're discussing the Australian bushfires and having a gay old time, whooping and hollering about it, because they genuinely believe that Australia's not real, and so they're laughing at the lengths they feel some people will go to perpetuate a lie. Of course, I don't. I'm only joking when I say that Australia's not real. I've been there. I've basked in its glorious sunlight. I've paid the extortionate prices for everything there, and I've listened to the comic accents of its inhabitants, and I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed it all. I've swatted in the places where you would swat. I've seen the true horrors of Surfers Paradise. I've beheld very strange things. Promoter offered me his girlfriend. I politely declined. It was confusing. She, God bless her, not a lot going on behind the eyes. You know what I mean? A little bit like, I'm not saying she was trafficked, but it wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, look, guys, enough of that. Christ on a bike. What day is it today? Wednesday. What does that mean? What does that even mean? It means we're halfway through something, but what? Anyway, we'll work it out. Because we're friends, we're lovers, we're something other people just wouldn't understand. I've got a coffee and memes.
Steady job and a couple extra potatoes. That's all I want.
You're getting on. You're pushing 30, Slugger. It's time to think about getting some ambition.
Oh, I always figured I'd live a little bit longer without it.
Don't forget, kid, that what you're trying to do here is to be bright and chipper and entertaining and intelligent and sort of glitzy, and that's funny, and it's kind of cool, and it's interesting, and it's edgy, and all of that. It puts that facade of momentary charisma on you, and if you don't play that out, you actually fail.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Jode is asked, did I wrestle a croc after 12 cans of 4X? And I've sadly, let him in. That only really happens in adverts and in movies. And actually, I get very upset when you ask them about Foster's and putting shrimp on the Barbie and Crocs. There are no Crocs in America. I mean, Sean Simpson, he's in the chat. He's Australian. He'll let you know that they don't even have beer there really. They generally drink White Russians. In Australia, that's the sort of the national drink, and they drink a White Russian, sometimes a Black Russian at Christmas. But there are no crocodiles. Again, that was fictionalized by Hollywood for the film. I think it was called Stuart Little. And there was a crocodile in that was the main character, and he drove a sports car. And that is generally where the myth of the croc in Australia comes from. But it is main crocs that you would see were the crocs on people's feet. I mean, it was really the real crocs were the croc friends they made along the way. Oh God. What the hell is going on in the world? I don't know. It's too early. 1,700 bats invade tiny flat and start fucking. That's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Jen Mills covering that. Jen Mills every day, more and more trying to look like a BuzzFeed journalist. God bless her. I mean, I guess you've got to have a goal in life, haven't you? It might as well be something as pointless and unhelpful as that. 1,700 bats invade tiny flat and start mating. They are... Jesus, that is a big batty pylon and no mistake. Let's get these little fucking... Jesus. Yeah. You would not want to find that behind your cabinet, would you? You know, behind your chaise longue. That would put you off living in your flat, having to deal with the noise and the stench of 1,700 shagging bats slinging dick across your living room, slinging dick across your laminate floor. It ain't about that life, you know what I mean? That is bat country, and no mistake. Having a mouse in the house is bad enough. Okay, look at all that bat shit. You could make plates out of that, isn't it? That's one thing I learnt from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. They found anyway, one family had to contend with something far spookier. They found their flat invaded by 1,700 bats, who chose a high-rise building to become their love nest. The bats wanted somewhere warm and cosy to mate in, as well as hibernate for the winter season. They found their way into an enclosed balcony and settled down everywhere, including cupboards, drawers, and sacks of vegetables last week. Look, what, did they do this while their family was in bed? Or while they were out at the shops? While they were in the Weatherspoons? How quickly can 1,700 bats get into a flat and set up shop? Photographs show hundreds of the creatures crawling over one another, many of them young, at the tower block in the Ukraine. Okay, it's in the Ukraine. This is starting to make somewhat more sense. No offence, Ukraine. Bat scientist, no offence, Line Wax. Bat scientist, Dr. Andriy Taras-Bashtar, who was called in to deal with them, said, they were engaged, it's the Ukrainian accent, they were engaged in what the bats do at this time. Fucking. Right, wow. They really, they're just getting it done, aren't they? It's the mating season. He said, the owners had placed an urgent call to remove the bats because the shaggins keep them up at night and that. We counted them as they were removed, 1,700 of bastards. He posted, all right, we're alive. and they were often together like this. So we began picking them up. They began crawling away. It was such fun. It was a fucking laugh, I tell you. Honestly, I've never had a better day than that day 1,700 bats got in to meet these fucking loft apartment and start fucking and that. We had to go scoop them out of the fucking bin bag. Oh, I tell you, I'll never forget it. But 80% of them were young, judging by the teeth. Okay. They were in a cupboard. They were in drawers. They were in a cavity behind the wall. There were 200. 200 were in each of the 2 sacks of vegetables, which the owner stored for the winter. Wow. Okay, so really, oldie-worldy times in the Ukraine. God bless them. The bats were everywhere. Everywhere. I understand you cannot believe this. I wish you could have seen the faces of the apartment owners when they began to carry them away on that lake. He was in no doubt that this was the record for the number of bats in such an invasion in the Ukraine. Is this a regular thing? The tower block apartment was ordinary. But the bats saw it as an ideal place for their winter hibernation. The bats first flew on balcony about a fucking week ago. The owners were afraid to go on a balcony and hoped that the bats would just fly away, and that turned out the first pair attracted the others, and that before you know it, it's a fucking bat orgy. Within a week, they were gathering in record numbers. Their screams could be heard all over the block. Could you just imagine this poor terrified family huddled in one of the back rooms or something while 1,700 bats just bang each other's brains out in the other room? God. Dr. Bashta ensured that the bats were released alive. Took 4 hours to gather them out, take them away in that lake. Yeah, it's rather mild now in Lviv. So the bats are released into the wild and they'll just have to go somewhere else. And that can't stay here, man. They're not paying any fucking rent, and that late rent's expensive enough around here. I know it's not as expensive as trying to live on the King's Road in Chelsea or anything like that type, but why would you want to fucking live there? What, you in a fucking reality show or something? Fuck that. Anyway, I'd rather have a flat full of fucking bats than be on Made in Chelsea. Or with that Spencer lad. I know he don't drink anymore. What's the fucking point? Checked other balconies in the same apartment block, but all of them piled into this one balcony. The owners have now closed it, used by the bats to access their balcony, he said. So have you closed the gap yet? No, Dad says he's going to do it next week. Right, you should get on that. Yeah, no, he's drinking. He's doing drinking day today. God knows he needs it. Oh, Wesley Snipes, so beautiful and beady, our eyes, one day we'll be lovers and dancing hand in hand. On a beach in Rio, we'll be barefoot brides. Guys, Kiss frontman Gene Simmons, of Long Tongue fame, puts ice on his cereal to keep the milk cold. Where are you keeping the bodies, Gene Simmons? Where are you keeping the bodies? I think that, again, a scenario of me being king / totalitarian dictator. If I was if I was Donny T, and I decided, like, that's it, no more democracy. I'm taking out. I'm going to deal with this. This is stuff has gone too far. Yeah, I put Iran on the back burner for a little bit. I'll be like, right, okay, Gene Simmons is putting ice on his cereals. Within seconds, the Pop would be around there seizing his hard drives. Really, tearing his life. Where are the bodies? Where are you keeping the kids? You'll be, what's he doing on the dark web? I'll be all over that. You can't go around putting ice on cereals. No. Like, we're going into World War III and he's putting ice on cereals. Fucking Nora. When it comes to food, Dominic Smithers, my boy. When it comes to food, everyone is different. And I don't know whether or not it's worth reading this. Anyway, Gene Simmons has tweeted multiple pictures, photos, saying anyone else put ice cubes in their cereal. He's trolling. He has to be trolling. He's got a new social media manager in, and they're like, listen, Gene, sales on Kiss merchandise are really down this season. And if you want to extend the mansion by another acre, which I know you do because you need to keep all your other Kiss merchandise and your tongue accessories in it, and you want to keep this all these trafficked children that you have in the cages. You need somewhere to put your ever-growing collection of abducted children. You're gonna have to make a bit more money. So I'm gonna suggest a quite aggressive social media campaign of viral content, a divisive viral content. So we're thinking ice cubes on cereals for the first one. Just test the water with that, see how we go. Great news, Gene! Gene, great news! Made the Lad Bible! Yeah! Lad Bible! Yup. Sales of fake tongues through the roof. Brilliant stuff. Crazy Nights, top of Spotify charts. Crazy. Crazy Nights is a happy sounding song that, if you listen to the lyrics, is terrifying. A million ways to bury you alive. It's one of the lyrics in that. It's a dark line in an otherwise happy sounding song. The most unhappy, there was a thread about this on Reddit the other day. It was like, what happy sounding songs actually, when you listen to the lyrics, are not happy? And You Are My Sunshine is one of the most, when you listen to the lyrics, one of the most tragic and depressing and just gut-wrenching songs you've ever heard, which is about the crippling pains of unrequited love and someone who was loved incredibly dearly, leaving, not coming back, and then being with someone else. It's fucking rough. Barney the Dinosaur singing it to people in orange jumpsuits and Gitmo. That's why it's doing them in, I guess. Yeah, that's a bit torture for you. Guys, look, enough of the cereals, enough of the depressing songs. Let's play some Shoe Throwers. Mampy Swift's got an album out, and it's got some bits on it. Let's have Dogs of War from Mampy Swift's Victory Rose LP, which is out now on Charge. And I suggest you go out, if you've saved up enough pocket money to buy it, then spend your pocket money on it. If you haven't, then steal money from your mother's purse. But do go out and buy Victory Rose LP by Mampy Swift. Decent outro as well. Mampy Swift, fucking class act as ever. Right, good. There's some other nice bits, actually, that they've got in the Locked in an Addy Chamber. 800 by Distorted Minds, and Inside and Foe. The Syndicate by Akov and Bilian. Sinking by Enai. Fabric by Blick Barrel. And The Storm original mix by Hkay. So I look forward to listening to those later, and by God, you should too. Drunk passenger asks men to join her in Mile High Club before headbutting crew. Look at the cheeky wench. British woman has been jailed. She's been jailed after a 4-hour rampage during a flight from Abu Dhabi to Manchester, in which she headbutted and kicked passengers and the cabin crew. What a radgy bitch. Good-looking radgy bitch. Are these press shots? Again, what's going on here? Like, is this part of her modelling portfolio? She's got to be pleased with that. I mean, if that's her outside court, she's got to be pleased, hasn't she? But probably less pleased with the prison sentence, but we'll see. Demi Burton, 20, who was drunk on red wine during the nightmare 4,500-mile journey on May 9th, had asked male passengers to join her in the Mile High Club and made crude comments about them having mid-air sex. Oh, poor guys. Poor boys. Oh, dear. Oh, let's set them up a Just Giving page. Yeah, I'll contribute to the cost of their counselling. Poor boys. Wow. After cabin crew refused to serve her more alcohol, she replied, "You might as well just land the plane now then." Before angrily raising her fists and going berserk as 259 passengers looked on. Staff on the Emirates flight tried to calm Burton down, only for her to headbutt and kick out at them during a violent struggle. Now, it does say something about any person, not just a young lady, that they turn to the headbutt as an option, you know? I mean, recently, obviously, there was that video of the gentleman on the train who turned out to be an off-duty police officer headbutting the aggressive man. I mean, that was... I mean, he had both the guy's hands and was able to really pull off what really is the perfect headbutt, which is where you can pull the person towards you as you go in. I mean, that is a real... Like, I mean, that's like a career-ending headbutt for the... I mean, that's... You will irreparably change their face with a headbutt like that. Straight onto the bridge of the nose. Gong! He's gone down like a sack of smashed twats. That's what you're after. But, you know, you're a young lady on a flight and you turn to the headbutt. You could tell she'd be a biter, a scratcher, a hair puller and an eye gouger, and potentially even a fish hooker. She may even have a shiv on her. It eventually took 6 crew members and passengers to restrain her. That's pathetic. No, it should take one large man, if that. One average man should be able to deal with that. If an average man cannot deal with an aggressive young woman, then that average man needs to have a word with himself. Eventually, on a flight situation like that, if someone needs to be restrained, then you're just going to have to roll your sleeves up and get it done. A consultant anaesthetist travelling on the flight who was bitten on the elbow. She's biting elbows! Fucking hell. And headbutted. As he helped to restrain Burton, claimed it was worse than working in A&E. Just put her lights out. Just slip it in under there. Slip that one in behind. Oh, squeeze! She'd be gone in 4 seconds. One stewardess was bitten on the forearm and headbutted around the chin. Damn. Other passengers were kicked in the ribs and face and headbutted in the cheek. She's targeting some quite niche areas. Biting elbows, headbutting cheeks, headbutting chins, kicking ribs. Air stewardess, Fozia Naam, said in a statement, "It was a stressful situation, but whilst I managed to remain calm and professional, it is not acceptable for crew members to be treated this way, and not fair on other passengers to witness things like this." Burton, from Carrington in Manchester, had been travelling home from a 3-month trip to Australia, where she'd been visiting family. She claimed she had been drinking, and she had a fear of flying. All right. At Minshall Street Crown Court, Manchester, she was jailed for 6 months after she admitted being drunk on an aircraft and 5 charges of assault. The incident began shortly after flight EY21 had taken off from the United Arab Emirates. Burton initially denied any wrongdoing. Okay, worth a try. Defence lawyer Martin Callery later said she is thoroughly ashamed of herself, and because she is remorseful, she is utterly embarrassed at the way she behaved. It is completely out of character as far as she is concerned. However, Judge John Edwards said the behaviour at the very least created the possibility of endangerment of the plane and its 259 passengers. Anyway, people in the comments section are as rabid as ever. Joseph Suarez says, "Dirty chav." Okay, there is no actual description of her social class. That looks like it could potentially be quite an expensive jacket. So, I would say that throwing up the middle fingers to the press potentially could be deemed a chav move. But, hey, who knows? Anyway, Michael McWilliams. She looks like a right chav. Okay, all right, we're going to stick with the chav things. Let's have a look at Michael McWilliams, though. You look like a right belle. I don't know if it'll let me in. Look at that. Look at those wraparound shades. There's a ponytail behind that. That's not cool, is it? Wow, 29 notifications. I haven't checked Facebook in 2 or 3 weeks. God only knows what sort of horrors could be lying in there. God only knows what horrors could be lying in the Lobster Crew Facebook group. I haven't checked it in, I don't know, almost a month. Does anyone who is in the Lobster Crew Facebook... Look, if anyone who is in the Lobster Crew Facebook group that deems themselves to have... doesn't deem themselves to have a high moral code, but deems themselves to have a moral code which is somewhere, if you would say between 0 and 10, 10 being, I guess, kind of Gandhi, latter years Gandhi, not college years Gandhi, and 0 being Stalin. I'm looking for someone at about 3. So anyone that would put themselves on the spectrum about there, who would like to be an admin of that group, because occasionally I check in and it's madness in there. It's Sam's losing his mind, just kicking off at people. Other people are posting weird shit. I need someone to moderate it because I don't really go on Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook. Yeah, I'm vegan. I do CrossFit. So anyway, get in touch on Discord, not on Facebook, if you are insane enough to want to be an admin of that group. Anyway, back to these comments. Jeff Smith, what a vile dog. John Wareham, amazing how no matter how much of a scumbag someone behaves like, it's always, quote-unquote, totally out of character, according to their lawyer. Yeah. You would think that if it was that's her character was getting shit-faced and headbutting on planes, that it wouldn't be a first offence. I guess you've got to have a first offence at some point, haven't you? You've got to start somewhere. Maybe it will become her character. The first time you headbutt people on an Emirates flight, out of character. 7th or 8th, don't know why they've not banned you. That it's like, this is what we've come to expect from this person. So people are kind of like, oh, sir, it's Burton. Yeah. Good looking, bit bitey. Yeah. Cute but psycho. I think that's what they'd say. Guys, what else have we got? Pigs break into, quite animal based today. Pigs break into supermarkets, smash bottles, and help themselves to whiskey. See, look, this is, I don't know where this is in the world, but all this does is back up that one guy's tweet. About having the 24 wild hogs, your feral hogs in your garden. That just suddenly appear in your garden. Threatening your kids. If you got 24 wild hogs in your supermarket pilfering whiskey, I think that's a pretty reasonable argument for us all to have AR-15s. Do you not think? Shouldn't we all why don't we just all have an AR-15? It's the law that you have to have it on you at all times. You have to sleep with it next to you. If you sleep in a bed with a partner, with a spouse, you have to lay both your AR-15s in between the two of you, and you can kiss over the top, and you kiss them on the barrel, kiss them on the end of the barrel each night. and you have to make sure that it's loaded and safety off at all times. That'd spice things up a little bit, wouldn't it? You know? That would put the cat amongst the pigeons in the Wetherspoons on a Friday night. Yeah? You see who's arguing online after that, eh? We all know the story of Three Little Pigs, but it took a dramatically different turn when it played out in real life. A gang of pigs go hog wild in a supermarket. Nice. That's on Brazzers. Okay. Mother of 2 piglets escaped from their farm and went for a night on the source in the Siberian city of Toyman. Pigs let loose in the snow before taking refuge from the cold in a local supermarket. Within minutes, the mother pig sniffed out the alcohol aisle and used her snout to knock over 2 bottles of cognac on the floor. Naturally. Why naturally? Well, who's written this? Faye Brown. Okay. In the spirit of waste not, want not, all the pigs began to lick up the mess as horrified shop staff called for help. You want to wrestle them goddamn hogs. That's what they're there for. Hogs be wanting to wrestle. Wrestle him. One customer complained, is this a pigsty or a store, people? As the hogs helped themselves to whiskey. I mean, that's quite a sassy remark for what is likely to be, I guess, I mean, maybe that's not an unusual incident in that part of Siberia. Maybe hogs are getting into shops all the time, and it's just like, people are so fed up with it. It's just outcry like, shopkeepers need to do more to keep fucking hogs out of shops. I'm in there with my kid who's sick. He's got a gluten allergy. He's a pain in the arse. And I'm trying to get out there and fucking buy him gluten-free pancakes so he'll shut up for 5 minutes. And these hogs are going hog wild in there, drinking whiskey, getting drunk and wrestling. You know, is this a pigsty or a goddamn shop? I mean, you would only say that. Is this a pigsty or a store, people? I mean, is that the literal translation from the Russian? You would only say that if it was something that had happened many, many times. Because if it was something that had only ever happened once, you'd go, fucking hell, there are pigs in here. What on earth is going on? Not like, oh, is it, what are you making pigsty in here? Don't know what accent's that. Anyway, one shopper had a bit more sympathy and joked, we all like a drink at this time of year. The break-in came during a week when most Russians take a long holiday for New Year and Orthodox Christmas Day. Staff eventually kicked out the pigs and were later collected by their owner, according to local reports. Pigs may have a reputation for being greedy, but they aren't the only animals who enjoy a big night on the sesh. In 2017, an opossum broke into a shop in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and proceeded to get hammered on bourbon. You might think that would be lethal for a small animal, but the opossum was able to handle the booze. Yeah, good lad. It's sobered up at the Emerald Coast Wildlife Refuge and was later released unharmed. Sadly, now videos have recently emerged of the opossum using the N-word on a Call of Duty stream in 2007. That's sad, isn't it? You know, when you think someone's a hero, you know, you think someone's a legend, and then everyone's got skeletons in the cupboard, haven't they? Everyone's got skeletons in the cupboard. Right, let's have another bit. Let's have this Akov and Billion. It's called The Syndicate. It's on It's Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, that was The Syndicate by Carve and Billion. D has spotted a bug in the app that for some reason the video not showing today in the iPhone app, so I'll look into that as soon as I finish the show. I wonder why I changed some stuff around in the schedule yesterday, and maybe I've done something I shouldn't have. Anyway, it's all a learning curve. It's good to have people to test this stuff out. It's not perfect yet. There's still work to be done, but we're getting there. Okay, guys, thanks. A model is sending people nudes if they donate to the bushfires crisis. God bless her. Listen, yeah, guys. Finally putting the vagina to good use. Somebody had to, after all this time, know what to do with it. And finally, vagina being used for a good cause. Since the bushfire crisis grabbed the nation and the world's attention, there have been lots of fundraisers launched to help those affected. Celebrities from the entertainment and sporting worlds have piled in millions of dollars, which will go a long way to helping people rebuild and strengthen our emergency services. This is obviously written by an Australian. But one model has found a rather unique way to get people to donate. A lady going by the Twitter handle The Naked Philanthropist, nice, tweets, "I'm sending nudes to every person who donates at least $10 to one of those fundraisers for the wildlife in Australia. Every $10 you donate equals one nude picture from me to your DM. You must send me confirmation that you donated. Please retweet." Anyway, she's got 200,000 likes on that. Apparently, I overheard at the co-working space yesterday someone saying that she had raised... here it is. It says it here. She's raised $720,000. From the picture here, she's clearly sending serious nudes as well. Like, it's not just it's like close-ups of vag. It's proper stuff. It's top shelf material. LA-based Kaylin Ward has posted a message to her fans on Twitter saying that if they donate at least a tenner, she'll send a naked picture of herself to them. She posted a massive list of places to donate, and people who are keen on the deal have to show evidence that their transaction has gone through. Since uploading the fundraising technique, Kaylin has said that she has raised a whopping $720,000. Now, that is one hell of a lot of nudes to have sent out. That's 7,200 nudes. That's a lot of nudes. You must have an army of people send. I guess she's sending the same ones. Probably not. That's a... Anyway, she says that the first few hours after the posting the message on Twitter, Mrs. Ward says that she was shocked by the tens of thousands of messages she received. Her original post has been retweeted, liked and commented more than 170,000 times. The LA-based content creator revealed that one donor in particular pledged an incredible $50,000 and asked for 50 videos and pictures. That's quite a lot. The model explained that she wanted to get involved in the bushfire crisis after seeing a lack of media attention in America about it. While Australian media has covered it extensively, Ms. Ward said that she couldn't work out why there wasn't much noise being made about it back home. But don't try to scam her, because she is making note of all the donations that she's received. She wrote on her post, "The fact that people use the same photo to fake a donation is disturbing. If you're that broke that you can't donate $10 to a good cause to literally save a burning company, but instead scam me out of a free nude, you are the lowest of the low." The lowest of the low. If you're keen on helping those affected by the bushfire but don't want or need a nude, you can click here. I need nudes. Wesley, do you need nudes? I need nudes. We need nudes. Not from this young lady. I want nudes from Lobster Crew. I want hairy, unbleached anuses of men in their 30s that used to take a lot of pills in the mid-noughties, that wear black T-shirts, a little bit overweight, and varying degrees of mental illness. That's who I want nudes from, guys. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say there are a few of them. Listen, myself included. They're the kind of news we want. Like, how far do you think I'd get selling nudes for the bushfires? I think there'd probably be two or three of you would donate. I don't think you'd look at the nude. I think, look, I'll pay you so you don't. I'll pay you not to send it. How about? All right, here's a deal. Here's a good deal for you. Donate $10 to the bushfires, or I'll send you nudes. Yeah, I'll send nudes to your family. Okay, yeah. That threat goes out to everybody in the country. So listen, that should it really be 700 million pounds now should get donated, unless you want me to say, look, you don't want my nudes. I'm saying this now. You trust me, you don't. They are. Why is he doing that? Why does it look like that? It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be like that. What's he doing? Oh no! That must hurt. You don't need that in your life, yeah. So what I'm saying is, give some cash to the koalas, yeah, and give the cash to the koalas, and they won't give you chlamydia. How about that? That's a good deal. This last, on the other hand, may well do. I don't know. Anyway, that's cool. That's a nice, heartwarming story. I wonder whether or not Jen will be covering that on her Positive Energy show at 11 o'clock today. I hope so. I do hope so. I think that would be. I mean, that is good news, right? You know, that is the free market, ladies and gentlemen. That is the beauty of the free market. Right? Look, we need to raise a few quid for the koalas. Let's get our gashes out, you know. Let's flog pictures of bums. Let's flog pictures of buttholes. Yeah, she can't be taking a fresh one every time. Although, I mean, I guess if you're doing it on DM, you could just take the picture there and then. You'd have someone else on your account and they're just coming in, ding, 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 and you're just like, yep, verify that, cha-ching, done. Yeah, I mean, how many could you do a day? You could probably do a few. I mean, if you could get it down to maybe 30 seconds per nude, you know, then what, you do 120 an hour? Still a lot. 10-hour day of that, and you're only at 1,000. She's been doing it one every 30 seconds for 10 hours a day for a week. I call shenanigans. I think she's not a philanthropist. She's a liar. How about that? No, well done, naked philanthropist. You're living your best life. Okay, you are living your best life, guys. Let's have one more of these. One more of these throwers. Let's have no, it's not Mampy Swift. Distorted Minds and Inside Info with 800. In reference to the 800 nudes that Inside Info has sold to raise money for a cow charity. Raise money for cats' protection. God bless him. I've worked it out, D. It will require an update, though. 800 by Distorted Minds and Inside Info. No, I'm milking that outro a little bit, I will say. You know, I mean, you know, but yeah, little bit for milk, but good record, I will say. 4 Wesleys out of Snips. Airport passengers stunned as man sitting on chair openly urinates onto floor. He is giving no fucks in 2020. Here he is. Wow, just piddling onto the floor. Just getting it done. That is wild. Wow. That is insane. He could be ill. He could be mentally handicapped, I guess. That's kind of flexing on the mentally handicapped a little bit. Sorry, guys. Plenty of you out there that wouldn't do anything like that. Horrifying footage shows the moment a man urinates in an airport waiting area in plain sight, surrounded by other passengers. Man can be seen sitting in an airport terminal. Man can be seen sitting in the... I think Morgan Freeman's reading this. The man can be seen sitting in an airport terminal, spraying a fountain of urine onto the floor, seemingly unbothered by shocked passengers nearby. The man is wearing a gilet and what looks like a black top unzipped with his belly and chest on display. The video was posted on Instagram, on the Instagram account Passenger Shaming. That's a good Instagram account if you like people with really fucking disgusting feet on aeroplanes. On the 1st of January, captioned, "Piss off 2019. See you all next year." Yes, this is a passenger urinating in the terminal. To date, this has been viewed more than 229,000 times, with many viewers asking why no one took action against the man. What should the action be? Suck him off? You know, just finish him, wipe the bell for him, go and mop it up, give him a slap. What should you start doing? Shout at him? You know? Drop F-bombs? One person asked, why isn't anyone doing anything about this? I just think that what would you... I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, maybe he's drunk and on some sort of dissociative medication and he thinks he's at the urinal. People do that sort of stuff all the time in their own homes. They go to sleep pissed up and then they get up in the night to go to the toilet and they go and like piss in the baby's pram. I don't know how to explain the relation. But anyway, a gentleman who used to be in my life that is no longer in my life due to a breakup of a family I was associated with. His classic was to get shit-faced, get up in the middle of the night and then piss into the baby's pram, thinking it was a urinal. The baby wasn't in it. The baby was in the cot. But it happened a lot, so many times that they had to like if he was pissed, you'd have to pack the pram up and put it away somewhere. Then he'd just piss in the corner. I mean, it was they had complex issues. This family. I'm glad I'm no longer associated with them. Another polled viewer wrote, "What in the world would possess anyone to behave this way? Just not giving a fuck, man. Just why not? He's just letting it fly. Who cares? You know? Maybe that's the dad of the girl who was gone to prison for being a good times girl." Other viewers were bemused. were more bemused than outraged by the foul act. What a slob, one wrote. What a chav. Gotta love the general public. Only 3 days into the new year, and passengers have already called out fellow travellers on a string of disgusting behaviours. In another recent post on Twitter, a Twitter video shames a Delta Airlines passenger who uses the in-flight touchscreen with bare feet to select the onboard entertainment. There was another guy pissing on a plane. He was just sat in the seat, and he was doing the same technique. He was just pissing while on the plane. Do they have that? No. Who's this? Barrymore? Uh-oh. Stuart Lubbock's horrific injuries and why Barrymore left the scene. Yeah, I tell you what, if you ever want to really... I don't remember what it was called, but there was a very depressing documentary about the whole Barrymore thing with the dad of the guy that died, of him just sort of trying to get justice and not being able to and never really knowing what happened. Ugh. Anyway, guys, it's the end of the show. Fucking hell. Anyway, guys, you're listening to Coffee and Memes on Threshold.fm, and this is the end of the show. The Power Gen. You're aware of her work. She's my friend. She's your friend. She's the hero that we need, but we do not deserve. She's up at 11. So look, go and make yourself another cup of coffee. Start your work. Do a couple of hours of solid work. Then you'll deserve a 2-hour break, which will take you through until lunch. So there you go. Power Gen's up at 11. Gold Top at 8 o'clock tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. There seems to be mixed reports of how the new early time is working out for people in general. So, up to you. Oh, Frisk has reared his ugly head after God knows how long. He's been hiding, I don't know, in a cupboard, in another room. He's been hiding in the temple on Epstein's Island. Who knows? Guys, I love you. God bless you. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.